from my 5th grade, and I collected it from both block 1 and 2 of, it's an ELA block, and there's like 19 kids in one class and like 25 in the other, so roughly 20 in both classes. But I used only 3 aspects of the rubric that the teacher gave, and so it's like opinion statement, quote, and reasoning. And for block 2, there was 19 students, and then on this column is their score out of 10 on what they received when I graded them on the 3 aspects. And here's just like their scores out of 10 for all of the students. You can see that nobody got 100%, nobody got 10 points, and there's quite a few students who struggled and got 1s or 2s. For block 2, a lot of them chose similar like topics. So the topic for the writing piece was to take the class novel that we've been reading and talk about what they think the most important part of the setting is. So for block 2, 31% came up with like different ideas, but 42% said that it was higher ground, and 26% said it was like the farm and the location that they were at. So from this block alone, I realized that nobody received full credit and that they did not do as well as I hoped. For the future, I would allow students more time to complete their writing because they weren't given enough time to be able to elaborate. And we would also revisit setting because some of those other students came up with settings that weren't, or topics that weren't particular to settings. I would also provide more examples and maybe let's have a class time where we can brainstorm the most important setting, like topics and stuff, so that all the students get setting. Here's block 1, same thing. This one's out of 23 students. Their scores out of 10. There were a couple people that received 10 points or got 100%. There was only 2 students that received less than a 2. And so from this data set, they obviously did better than block. So this is block 1. I think I did that wrong. But they did better than the other block, and but they still did not do as well as I had planned. So I would do the same things for them as far as revisiting setting and providing more class time. Here's a graph of the 2 blocks compared and their scores. They're kind of all over the place, and so in terms of grouping the students, I wouldn't group them. I would probably just revisit this as a whole class because I feel like not everybody got it. And the most difficult part about this process was probably trying to have to regrade the work because the teacher's rubric wasn't very clear, and so I had to go through and decide what I wanted to grade them on, but since they were pretty much incomplete writings because they weren't given enough time, it was hard to grade them on stuff that they didn't get to. That's it.
So you had your 2 data sets?
Yeah, they were just like the same thing.
Oh, okay.
But different blocks.
Gotcha.
And so I just, that's both of them. Cool. And I think that's... Is there any other feedback?
No, she just